Hello, my name is Onyinye Chime, and I'm going to be talking about the current issues facing the indigenous people of Hawaii. We're going to be looking at who are the Hawaiians, the history of the Hawaiians, some of the current issues they are facing, the learning outcome, my conclusion, and my references. Who are the native Hawaiians? Native Hawaiians are the Aboriginal Polynesian people of Hawaiian Island or their descendants. Native Hawaiians trace their ancestry back to the original Polynesian settlers of Hawaii. In total, 527,000 Americans consider themselves native Hawaiians. Language spoken: English language and Hawaiian Pidgin. We're going to be talking briefly on the history of the Hawaiians. The Hawaiian island were first settled as early as 400 CE, when Polynesians from the Marquesas Island, 2,000 miles away, traveled to Hawaii's Big Island in canoes. Highly skilled farmers and fishermen, Hawaiians lived in small communities ruled by chieftains who battled one another for territories. The first European to set foot in Hawaii was Captain James Cook, who landed on the island of Kauai in 1778. Cook, who named the island after the Earl of Sandwich, returned to a year later and was killed in a confrontation with Hawaiians at Kelekiwa Bay on Hawaii's Big Island. Between 1791 and 1810, King Kamehameha conquered other rulers and united the entire archipelago into one kingdom. Hawaii's first king, who died in 1819, is still feted with flowery parades every 11th of June. It's been named King Kamehameha Day. In the 1890s, the last Hawaiian ruler, Queen Lili Akulani, was deposed, imprisoned, and forced to abdicate. The author of Aloalo, Hawaii's signature song, she remains a Hawaiian heroine. Honolulu's Lolani Palace, where she lived during her reign and where she was held captive after the coup, was restored to its late 19th century appearance in the 1970s and is open to the public for tours and concerts. I'm going to be talking about some of the current issues the Hawaiians are facing, which includes land issues, the struggle for Hawaiian sovereignty, environmental issues, and addictions. Land issues. Native Hawaiians have always had a sacred connection with their land, just like the Canadian Indigenous people. But westernization of the island has threatened the bond. For centuries, the native Hawaiian people struggled against the United States government to defend their land and customs. The fight continues in 2016 with scientists and the native population at odds over how to best preserve the Aina or land. Aina in Hawaiian means land. Historically, scientific progress has almost always trampled native Hawaiians' rights and traditions. Land would be close to the public, fenced off, and used for science, but co-ops and associations are trying new strategies to bring science and traditions together. In 1898, Congress voted to annex Hawaii, making it an American territory. During this time, lands were given from natives who lacked satisfactory documentation to prove the land belongs to them. The entire island of Lanier was sold off to Jim Doe for a pineapple plantation. Fast forward to the attack on Pearl Harbor. The American government declared marital law and took over the island of Kaho'olawe for training and bomb testing. It wasn't until 1990, long after the World War II was over, that President George H.W. Bush finally ordered an end to live fire training. It took 4 more years for the Navy to return the land to the state of the Hawaiians. A 10-year cleanup followed, and the Navy managed to clear 75% of the island of unexploded hazard. Talking about some of the struggle from Hawaiian sovereignties. These are some of the challenges the Hawaiians face trying to struggle for their sovereignty. Throughout the 19th century, the Hawaiians monarchy allowed missionaries, ranchers, whalers, and traders to settle on this island until disgruntled American businessmen, backed by Marine, overthrew Hawaiians' government and set up their own republic. These businessmen banned the teaching of the Hawaiian language and culture. This illegal overthrow of the sovereign nation was even opposed by President Grover Cleveland, who pushed for the restoration of the Hawaiian kingdom, but to no avail. When the United States military invaded our archipelago in 1893 and overthrew our constitution, monarchy, our fate as an outpost of the American empire was sealed. Still on the struggle of the sovereignty, today Hawaiians continue to suffer the effects of white colonization. Our language was banned in 1896, resulting in several generations of Hawaiians, including those whose only language is English. Our land and waters have been taken for military base, resorts, urbanization, and plantation agriculture. Another issue the Hawaiians face is the environmental issues. Some of the environmental issues affecting Hawaii currently is based on the increasing human and animal population and urban expansion, both directly on the island as well as overseas, some of which includes tourism, urbanization, climate change implications, pollution, invasive species, etc. We'll be looking at the marine debris, plastic pollutants. Marine debris is defined as any persistent solid material that is manufactured or proceeded and directly or indirectly, intentionally or unintentionally disposed of or abandoned into the marine environment or the Great Lake. We'll be looking at addiction, which is one of the problems of the Hawaiians, some of the issues they are facing. With all of the pictures of shaming beaches and muzzle people strolling across the sand, the state deals with its own alarming drug problem. It's not surprising that alcohol flows freely in the vacation spot. In fact, nearly 50% of Hawaiians aged 18 and older use alcohol in the past month alone. Unfortunately, other harder drugs also see their fair share of use in the Aloha states. Here are some of my learning outcomes, what I got to know as I did the research on this project. I have observed that most of the issues that the Hawaiians are facing is similar to that of the Canada Indigenous people, Africa, and other indigenous people of the world. Their rights as humans are being limited. Colonialism, I must say, has caused more harm than good. In conclusion, according to the Aina-based education and community engagement, through the Aina-based approaches, learners can deepen their relationship with the natural environment, cultivate connection within their communities, and build critical skills that can be applied to real-world issues. Aina-based education can help to instill a sense of kulaina, which means responsibility, care for people, place, and planet in learners of all ages. By bridging indigenous wisdom to modern-day science, technology, and policy. Here are some of the references I used. Environmental Justice for Indigenous Hawaiians, Reclaiming Land and Resources, 2019 September. Retrieved from, there's a link there. And The Progressive, 2019, retrieved from, there's also a link I have on my page. I want to say thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you. Bye.